Now this video inspired by an interview I seen, or actually a program I seen, a clip I seen that Nicolas Cage is bankrupt, or not bankrupt, but you know, he needs to take on crappy roles, video kind of roles, Netflix and Amazon and this kind of stuff, to make money, because he's desperate for money, and he doesn't even deny it. How can you? He's an honest man, not a politician, he's a movie star. But of course, his last studio production, a voiceover, well-known cartoon, so it's a long way when he actually had a proper studio production. Late 80s, 90s, come on, this guy was like, wow, this is biggest movie star ever. Just if you mention Con Air, come on. My absolute favorite is, of course, Face Off, and come on, many other movies, if I could remember one. But anyway, The Ghost Rider, that I hated, it was a crappy movie, man. Anyway, he's an idea for upcoming Hollywood stars and singers and ballerinas who make a little bit of money and they don't know if their career gonna continue. Like the ones who took a lot of money from Harvey Weinstein, not from Harley, from Webster, Weinstein took a lot of money, and then when, okay, they had to do bits and bobs, but after he played in the movie and their career didn't really work out, thought, hang on, 20 years later, let's take them on to the cleaners now, because we need a bit of a boost up. If you don't want to be one of them, then with the money for your first episode, what you get, example, Julia Roberts for Pretty Woman, 200,000, 250, I think. She could have bought properties, one-bedroom flats with it, yeah. Now, Grace, real estate, great investment. Put in the tenants, money comes back. But when you then became a movie star, then you can raise the price by double or triple, because you just go there to every month for the room inspection. And imagine Julia Roberts now would go to these flats. I mean, the amount of money that flat, the one bedroom in some of the outskirts of New York would be like $10 million, or like, okay, $10,000 a month, because it's Julia Roberts is my landlady, you know. But then, you don't wanna go that way with it. Is you can be crazy, you know. You can just sign a contract, Julia Roberts. You don't even have to turn up. But anyway, the whole point being here is that if your career doesn't work out, from the 250,000, you could have bought, maybe, I don't know what the prices were in 1980. I think it was 1989 or 1992, 91, something like that, when Pretty Woman came out. Pretty Woman came out much earlier than Julia Roberts. But anyway, no, I like her. I mean, not because of her big mouth, but wouldn't be a disadvantage as well. The two things just hanging there, boom, and I'm gonna grab ya. Yeah, no, I just used to work there, and Sharon Stone, I was babysitting the lighting, and it was a movie. We had to stay like £18 an hour just to sit around, you know what I mean. But anyway, she didn't turn up. She made it all the way to the Ritz in London, but she actually never came to the place where I worked. Not as a security guard, no. Alex girlfriend, I took an 80-kilogram man with my Harley. Jesus, wow, 80 kilogram. By then I had 100 liters. Anyway, right, so that's exactly what I'm going to. So then still Julia, for 250, could have bought maybe 2-3 little flats. His career wouldn't have worked out, and she would make a very steady income. But of course, I'm very happy her career worked out. But then it doesn't really matter. She can then resell the prices and say with the tag, Julia Roberts used to live here, whatever, you know. So for movie star, rock star. Imagine you would have these flats now from Ed Sheeran this for the American market, but Ed Sheeran, you know, in Los Angeles, when he played in that bar, it cost him 800 quid a gig, but was a good investment. No? Not for the gig to fly there, because a friend of his said, I can get you a gig in Los Angeles. What was the Edeltown, I think it was. Right. Now this is and this is free from the house, from my house. Obviously, I'm the owner of WooCourt.com. If you hashtag it, whiskey Otto, or whiskey Oscar, and then the quote, C for Charlie, O for orgasm. U for uniform, uniform, R for Richard, and T for twats. That was, my friend, a family name in the Scottish Highlands and the Orkney Islands, and their family were twats, so they're called the twats. Fact check it. I was there on the Orkney Island on holiday. So the reason, and then people moved out from Scotland to England, and obviously they've been ashamed, and then they just changed it, took the T away, and that Watts. By the way, I'm not sure Charlie Watts was one of them, but I think he wasn't really one of them. But rest in peace, Charlie, and we lost a drummer again to this terrible cancer, basically. I never can find a cure for that. Anything else is there is a cure. I mean, coronavirus, no problem. I had to bring it in, but the cure was found within months. And the cancer is going on such a long time and nothing is happening. Right, so I think my cut would be 15% when some of the movie stars take this idea and go for it. 15% from the flats or houses or investments that you made, what you get now from this video, only on the properties which you gather before you get famous. Yeah, so after you get famous, I'm not getting the 15% anymore, but I'm still getting the 15 for the ones you already have. Now, however, if you don't get famous, you owe me nothing. So I think it's fair and square, because now to cash in on Julia's properties, which she bought from the 250,000 she went for Pretty Woman, cash them in. Now 20 how many years later, that would be unfair. But since she made it, I wouldn't have mind to get something out of it. But by then, you know, I was a little child, and I was a big Julia fan. Yeah. I mean, one of the Julias. If they weren't not of Lennon's mother, Julia, then I never would have heard of. Nobody would have ever heard of the Beatles. So the Julias have a lot of power in my life. And Julia Roberts was definitely one of them, until she married that ugly country guy. No, not country musician. Yeah. So I never heard a song from him, and I'm not interested in a song of him. But possibly the ugliest man date in Hollywood. I mean, this guy. But of course, I know love doesn't have boundaries. But I think if you could have had Richard Gere's son, or I don't know, or Richard Gere even, I think, but hopefully anyway, because that was just a power couple, not the movie they made some sexual scene, but that was not really. I mean, back in the 80s that was exciting, man. It was the only other option was a Playboy, and that you had to hide. It wasn't my father's, no. They were found in the containers around Austria. Not Matzenhof, it was later. Hinterbrühl, Vorderbrühl, Mödling, these kind of areas we hung out, and had a little bit of childhood. I'm not denying it, but now I'm obviously bringing ideas to greats like Nicolas Cage. I should be, if I would be his property advisor, not property advisor, financial advisor, he would not have an issue with finance. However, he then would not own a 15 million mansion in Malibu or Palm Beach or whatever, a couple of castles in Europe. Where was that? St. Louis, not St. Louis, not Indianapolis. He has a flat there, like a house as well. Was it St. Louis? I think it was St. Louis. Then he has another one in Las Vegas. I mean, just the guy just randomly bought stuff. £150,000 octopus, or dollars octopus. I mean, why do you want an octopus? The way I really like the octopus is in the sandwich, in that octopus sandwich from the Master of the Random website. No, not website, YouTube channel. Now that's more like it. But I think now I have to stop because the conversation went a little bit west. Go west. You guys know that tune by the Pet Shop Boys, yeah? Fejdeharramok voltak akkor, mikor a kólával le voltam, mikor te voltam az éve bújó ember, Leobezdorba, Miami-ba, vagy mely Poléróba, és vártam, hogy teljen az idő, hogy ingyen tudjak bemenni, vagy valamilyen hülyeség volt. Wow, my god, devastating.